Hello, happy new day. Thank you guys for tuning back into this session as we talk about, if you've seen the topic, um, basically about being paid in full. I just believe this is kind of like a Q&A session today. I received another question, and someone was just asking, and I don't see it. It may come off negative to others, but I really don't. I feel like if anyone takes the time to ask a question, that's definitely positive. Life is just how you perceive it. So I perceive this as a positive question, and they were asking, being that. Am I really realistic when it comes to being totally debt free? They were saying, yes, it's great that I do it and I share the information, but is that realistic for the times that we are currently in? And absolutely, I'll say to them, I will say to you right now, it is realistic. In a world just filled with, debt. This is a world filled with people that 60% of the people are living paycheck to paycheck. And then when they look at the high income earners, think about it, they are living paycheck to paycheck. Why is that? Why do we have high income earners living paycheck to paycheck? Only because of this thing called what? Lifestyle creep. As their income goes up, people think that their lifestyle needs to go up, and they're not totally acting their wage, not understanding that yes, that income goes up, but you still have to pay taxes. You still have to make sure you're living within your means. So we're in a world where that's happening. We're in a world where debt is out of control, consumer debt, all types of debt. People are enslaved to interest. We're in a world right now where they're saying that a lot of the kids right now are not getting any type of financial education. If they're not getting it at home, if they're not getting it in the schools, and especially if some of the educators are not educated properly about finances, how can they teach it as well? There's not, courses are coming. I've been hearing them in schools, but not fast enough. So we're having students graduate not understanding money, not understanding how money works. So for me, that's mind-boggling. So to the person that answered this question, it's so mind-boggling that we have students out there, people that are paying 80 to 100,000 plus, people that are coming out of college with student loans. But guess what? They are starting their lives in debt, and they don't even know how to get out of it. And how I know this is because most of them, as they graduate, they start to get into more debt. They start to get the car and all these other things, and they start to pile on more debt until they get to the point where they say things like that, like what you said, and they start to say, well, is it realistic? Will I ever get out of this? Well, even on the side of negative, I'm always looking. If you know me as an ownership babe, I always want to take the negative and turn that into something positive. And my answer is absolutely yes, it is realistic. But first and foremost, it starts with you. It starts with you believing in you. It starts with you believing that you no longer want to be a part of those statistics. It starts with you trying to say, I do not want to be enslaved to interest. It starts with you saying, I do not want to be in the pay cycle of paycheck to paycheck. It starts with you saying, I do not want a job, a business, or anybody to have their thumb on me and my life. So I have to change something. And the first thing you have to change before anything on the outside changes, everything on the inside has to change. This is why I constantly talk about in these sessions, doing the inner work. And I've always given basic tips on things you could do to really work on your inner, but find a way to do the inner work so that you'll know that it is realistic. So in a world full of negativity, guess what? There are some positive solutions out there. So it is realistic, but how do you get there? And that's probably the question that they probably want to know. Not necessarily is it realistic, because most people know it starts with you. But then it's like, okay, well, I'm believing that I do not deserve to be a part of this. And most will say, well, how do I get there? And how you get there is just following the basics. And I'm just talking about the basics. I'm not talking about any elevated financial tips. I'm just saying some basic things that everyone should be doing. If people start to do this or work towards it, and I know people are in different places in their financial journey with their financial vision, but if you start to do this, then it does start to look realistic. Debt freedom does start to look realistic. And see, I will tell you, on that other side of being totally free, not owing anyone, paid off my home, all my debt is paid off, making sure that not only that I paid off this debt, having money saved, making sure that money works for who? For me and my financial vision for my life. So when I think about it, it's like I have all of these things going on, but what did I do to get there? First and foremost, like I said, I had to change everything on the inside before anything on the outside changed. I had to start looking at it like, I do not want to be a part of this world. I do not want to be here in this, and what I mean in this world that's entrapped to debt, that's enslaved to a job where people have to allow people to put their thumbs on them because you do not have money saved. See, I just want to tell you, and I want to sell this vision to you. When you become debt free, what starts to happen is, I'm not saying you have to stop your business or quit your job. Here's the beauty of it. Every paycheck or any type of check you get from your business or your job, when you're debt free, all of that is what? Profit. It is profit. So when you go to that business or that job, man, you are excited. See, they're not understanding why you are positive. When everything in that environment is probably negative, they don't understand, only because they've never experienced debt freedom. But you have an opportunity to experience it. And when you experience it, I promise you, you will never go back. You will never go back. And I did get another question, I want to throw this in, where someone said, well, you talk so much about it in your sessions. Well, no one has a problem when a lot of these luxury, people talking about all the luxury that they purchase over and over, all day and all night. Nothing against them. I love it. I watch it too. I understand. But what I'm saying is, no one has a problem with things that are talking about taking away money. But then people have a problem when you're talking about keeping money in your pocket, having money work for you, having money grow for who? For you. So when I hear that, I'm like, wow, this is why I don't want to be a part of a world that thinks like that thinks it's better to hear more about spending than to save. See, one of the things I had to change is I had to fall in love with saving just as much as I love spending. I didn't cut out spending. All I'm saying is I had to fall in love with saving. And through that journey, all of that led to this debt freedom. It led to this channel. It led to these sessions that we have. So again, I want to go back to the basics. I want to stick to that question. Is it realistic? Yes, it is. No matter where you are, you can change your inner. Everybody is just one decision away from changing your life in the most positive way. So you're only one decision away. So you just have to make that decision, and you have to work on you. You have to commit to doing the inner work every day. See, I can't drop the ball on that. That's one thing I can't drop the ball on, doing the inner work. 2, next thing you got to do is you got to map out a vision before you go in attack mode, right? Before you start to reverse those statistics for your life, you have to nail a financial vision. You have to create it. Nothing fancy. You don't need a lawyer for this, Not at this point. All you need is a pen and a paper, and guess what? A changed person on the inside. Will you be totally changed at this point? No, because you'll still be fighting certain habits. Why? Because if you're still around the same people that are talking about the lack of and not the abundance of, then you'll probably have some of those ways that you're trying to get away from. But all you need is a pen, a pad, and then some ideas on what you want for your life financially. Now, why do you want to do this? Because this is something you should look at day and night. You should make sure you look at it throughout the day as a reminder. You should make sure you look at it before you go to bed as a reminder of where you're going, of your financial vision for you and maybe your descendants as well. So put it together, put the plan together. It's amazing when you put words on paper, how it has the power to transform us. And then number 3, you got to create the budget. Always take a deep breath on this one, because this is the one that's always challenged most often from people. People are like, yeah, I have one. And then, you start talking and we find out, yeah, they have one. They just don't adhere to it. They don't stick to it. And then most people that don't have it, they like, no, Tiffany, those things are restricting. And I'm like, I want to gratify myself. If I'm making money, most people say, I don't want to feel restricted. And I'm like, how are you restricted? A budget is just something that tells your money, it shows your money where it should go. It helps direct your money in the right direction. Basically, it's a financial roadmap. All it is your income minus your expenses. All it is for the corporate people out there is a P&L, an income statement, income minus expenses, which tells you your what? Your profit. And if you don't have a profit when you create it, there's a problem. Either you need to increase that income, and guess what? We're in a great world right now. There's plenty of ways to make what? Money. Or maybe your expenses are too high. Simple, you could start cutting some things. And then for the person that say, I'm already stretched, I can't cut any expenses, but guess what? Hey, increase that income. It will tell you. It's a financial roadmap. It will keep you on your financial vision, your financial journey. You have to free yourself. This is why you got to work on you in the beginning, so it becomes realistic. So when you get that budget, and it's not going to look pretty. I'm going to be honest. When you start, especially if you haven't done this and it's new to you, you've heard about it, but you haven't tried it, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say what people don't say. It's not going to be easy, because you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, the numbers may not look the way you want to, but this is why you have to have a financial vision written, so you can go back and see why you have to work through it, why you have to get through that negativity you're having, why you got to turn that needing more income into, yes, I got more income, why you need to adjust those expenses, why you need to have a profit each month so that you can do what? Save and invest for your future. It is your roadmap. And I know most people run from it. And then I want to throw this in, because there's a lot out there, and this is why I always talk about having a financial vision, because there's a lot of information out there. I mean, we could find information on anything now. There's this AI, information. There's YouTube University. There's, TikTok University. There's so many places to find information. However, here's the thing. You have to know your vision, because when you get that information, you have to make sure it's in line with your vision. This is why I put this as part of a basic ownership babe strategy. Because if you start hearing information from me, someone else, and you haven't created your vision, you'll be trying all different types of things, and then you'll step back and say, no, this is not realistic. This is not going to work. This is not going to happen. And it's not that it's not going to happen. It's just that you're not in alignment with your true financial goals and dreams. So I challenge you to have that vision. Make it concise. Make it clear. So when you get the information, you can line it right up. And it starts to feel better. And it starts to look a little more realistic to you. Because everybody's vision, everyone's financial goals and dreams are different. And I'll tell you, story time. One of the things I know is that, you hear all this information, and I've heard people say, no, don't pay off the house, or no, you should have debt. People are going to die with debt or whatever. And if I would have listened to that, I would not be in the position that I'm currently in. So, and it's all about the position that you desire to be in. I would not be sitting right there at debt freedom. I would not be sitting where I am, where I will not allow no one to put their thumb on me, because I am not going to be enslaved to any bank. If I want money, I'm going to do it. If I want a car, I'm going to pay for it. I'm not going to accumulate any interest. Why? This is what keeps people stressed. One of the top killers in the United States, I don't know about other countries, in the United States, is heart disease, stress. And a lot of times that's stress. And people are going into their jobs, they're going into their businesses, and people are stressed out. Why? Financially. And then they're not understanding why they're so negative. Is because of the financial. If you fix that, as in the basics, if you do what I said, if you put that vision and put it together, first and foremost, work on you from the inside so the outside can change. Put that financial vision together, nail that budget down, and commit to it every single month. Commit to it. A budget, I will tell you, and yeah, it's already in me. At any point in time, it's already in me. There comes a time where you're not always strapped to that pen and paper. Why? Because you will be embodied in it. And when you're embodied, you don't even need sometimes the pen and the paper. That's the beauty of it. But until, write it down, have the budget, and then make sure you are adhering to it. Right now we have a crisis. Right now, everybody's hanging on to the word of whatever the Fed is going to say about the interest rates. And I know most people that are concerned about that is probably corporations. You know, they're always looking to borrow money at the lowest rate, save their money, and that keeps them generating their income. People are looking for prices to go down. I understand. I see it too. Everywhere, everything's going up. That's something as well. People are looking at that. Everybody's hanging on to change. Everybody, this is hey, the election campaign is run. So everybody's like, hey, I'm going this way because of this. Hey, I'm going to this candidate because of this. Everybody's looking for something else to change their situation. But I'm here to tell you in this session today that only you can change your situation. You have the power to change your situation. It starts with you. Proclaim your power. See, these negative statistics out here, they only become powerful when you do not get educated about what you need to do financially. You don't not tap into the basics that we discussed. Then you start to give these statistics power. It's time to take the power back. It's time to reverse it, and let's talk about some good statistics. Let's talk about, instead of 60% of the people living paycheck to paycheck, there's 60% of the people that do not have to live paycheck to paycheck. Let's talk about the people now that instead of being debt is out of control, that guess what? Most people are practically debt free. See, that's the world I live in. I just believe it could happen. See, I'm not waiting on a president to do it. I'm not waiting on the Federal Reserve and they're bored to do what they're going to do. I'm going to make sure I do what I have to do for me, for my family, for my vision. That's the power that you have. Proclaim your power. Start today. It doesn't matter how ugly it looks. You can change. We are all one decision, just one decision away from changing your life in a major way. So I did not want to close out this session without answering that question. Is it realistic? Thank you. Thank you for that question. Thank you. Thank you. I was blessed. Hopefully someone was blessed with it. I was blessed. Thank you. It is realistic. But it starts with you. That means it starts with you. It's not even a but. It starts with you. And you have the power to make it realistic. If you're feeling that it's unrealistic, then you're in the wrong circle. Get in the right circle. Get with people that are making goals and dreams happen. Get with people that are on the road to getting there, are already there. See, that will encourage you every single day. Change where you're spending time, the people you're around. You know, if you don't have it and you're like, everybody around me is saying all those negative statistics, Tiffany, guess what? You better plug into sessions like these. Sessions where we're going to talk about positive, not the negative. And when we talk about negative, we're talking about how to reverse the negativity. Because you have to change. So yes, let's be real. Let's be real. So thank you for tuning in to this session. Have a beautiful day. Hasta luego.